Hello, everybody, and thank you for attending today's webinar on Get to Know Your Rural Campus for Annapolis Valley Campus, Middleton, COGS, Kingstec and Lunenburg. My name is Kaylee. I'll do a little bit of an introduction in a minute. Just as a note, you are all joined muted, so please use the question function for any questions. Questions will be answered at the end, and I'll be repeating this information in a short period of time. Before we begin, we do like to acknowledge that we are on Mi'kma'ki, which is the unceded traditional homeland of the Mi'kmaq Nation, the people of Turtle Island, Canada. Our relationship is based on a series of peace and friendship treaties between the Mi'kmaq and the Crown, dating back to 1725. We acknowledge that we're all treaty people and we're all impacted by the treaties to this day. When we come together for presentations like today, we're reminded to be guided by a sense of stewardship and welcome and respect the connection of the land and the people. So Jalasi. For today's webinar, you have joined muted. You will not be able to unmute yourself during this webinar. If you have a question at any point, please submit it to the question box. We will take all questions at the very end of this webinar. This webinar is being recorded and will be available online after today's session if you ever need a refresh or you need to leave at any point. If your question isn't answered in the question box, it will be responded to within 48 business hours. So, what are we covering today? We've already covered our welcome, and now we're at our agenda overview. We're soon going to learn a little bit about myself, and then we're going to talk about the geography of the communities that our campuses are in, some community resources, and campus-specific resources. And then at the end, we'll be taking questions. My name is Kaylee. I use she, her pronouns. In my role, I put together resources and supports to help students better move to their new communities and transition into college life. My role is the coordinator of housing and transition supports. So now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of the presentation. The reason you folks are all in this webinar today, the community geography. So this presentation does cover 4 campuses. I would like to note that sometimes your campus will not be spoken about in that moment, but we'll be covering all 4 of those campuses. On this map, you'll see all of the highlighted sections. In the circle, you have Annapolis Valley Center of Geographic Sciences and Kingstec campus. We also have circled Lunenburg campus. So your Annapolis Valley campus, Center of Geographic Sciences, COGS, and Kingstec are what's known in Nova Scotia as the Valley. That's the geographical area, the Valley. I put that in quotes. That's what locals refer to the area. If you go to Kentville or Middleton, you're going to the Valley. Now, Lunenburg campus is on the other coast of the province. And the reason we've grouped these together is Lunenburg is fairly close to Annapolis Valley Campus, Center of Geographic Sciences, and Kingstec. And in fact, some of the resources that they have are very close, and people from the South Shore and the Valley use both. You just heard me say the South Shore. So Lunenburg County Campus is in what is in the region of the South Shore of Nova Scotia. These are really important geographical names for locals and for Nova Scotianers. To help people distinguish where exactly in the province you're looking to go, or where exactly in the province you are located. County is the geographic county that ABC, Annapolis Valley Campus, and COGS, Center of Geographic Sciences, is located. You will see on this presentation, there is a highlighted yellow zone. That is Annapolis County, Nova Scotia. It is just over 200 kilometers away from Halifax International Airport. That's a 2-hour and 27-minute drive. It's important to know that it is a drive because the only way to get from Halifax International Airport to that campus is by bus or by vehicle. There is no train system or other public transit system in Nova Scotia. In Annapolis County, in that entire highlighted area, 20,591 people live. It is known for the Harvest Moon Trail, National Historic Sites, and Kejimkujik National Park. King's Transit covers Annapolis County, as well as Kings County, which we'll talk about in a second. So in that entire geographic region, there are just over 20,000 people. That's not in each town. Each town has much smaller populations. We are going to show videos for each region. For Annapolis Valley, we'll be showing Annapolis Royal. We are going to hold the videos until after I finish the next 4 slides because we're going to have to pause the presentation and go into a video. So we'll come back to this slide. Kingstec campus is located in Kings County, Nova Scotia. So you'll see on this map the highlighted region. It's bordering the Annapolis Valley, Annapolis County region. It's part of the Annapolis Valley. It is just over 100 kilometers away from Halifax International Airport, which is approximately a 1 hour and 8-minute drive, according to Google Maps. Now, Kentville proper, where our campus is, has 6,300 people living in the town, but it is a center for the 61,000 people that live within that highlighted region. Some of the highlights of Kings County is the farmers markets, the wineries, Cape Split, which is a hike, Cape Blomidon, which is another hike area, lots of trails for cycling, walking, and hiking. There is a huge community that focuses on sustainability and connection to nature in Kings County. It is also close to the Bay of Fundy, which has the world's fastest tides and highest tides. And again, King's Transit is the public transit to get between communities. The Annapolis Valley has one of the better public transit systems because most other communities don't have inter-community public transportation. Again, this is another video. We will be watching this video after the next slide. So Lunenburg campus is within the district of Lunenburg, or the municipality of the district of Lunenburg, which is that highlighted zone on your map. You can see how it borders the Annapolis Valley, Annapolis County, and Kings County. It's located just under 100 kilometers from Halifax, approximately 55-minute drive. It hosts around 8,500 people within the town proper, but that municipality, that highlighted zone, hosts up to 25,000 people. Fishing is a large part of Lunenburg County's culture, as is farming within Bridgewater, or just outside of the town of Bridgewater. There is no public transit between communities, but the town of Bridgewater itself, within town limits only, has public transportation. So if you live within the town border, there is public transportation. And we'll talk about public transportation right now, where in our rural communities, which is AVC, COGS, and Kingstec and Lunenburg campus, there is some form of public transportation to get between locations, either within the town or if you're in the Annapolis Valley and Kings County, within towns, between towns. But you need to make sure that you're looking at the map for transit. If you're coming from another area that has very, very well developed public transit, you might be shocked to see that we're just starting our public transit journey in Nova Scotia. So there's not a lot of stops within towns, and the stops are very rigid. So you might have to walk to the bus stop, and that might be a little bit of a walk. So just prepare yourself to look for those little nuances that you might not know about before you come. And we have our video. So at this time, we will be watching 3 videos. So please bear with me while I switch to, we are first going to watch the video for the Annapolis Valley campus and Center for Geographic Sciences. Please note, I wasn't able to find a video for Middleton or Lawrencetown proper, which are the towns in which those campuses are located. However, we are watching a video about the Annapolis Royal town. Annapolis Royal is a short drive from Lawrencetown campus and a short drive from Middleton campus, and has similar geography and community events. So I thought it would be a good representation of what you may experience. When I play this video, it will mute me and play the video. And when we're done the video, I will unmute and talk about the next video. So with that video, you saw a variety of different geographical features, notably the Bay of Fundy, which has, again, the highest and fastest tides in the world. That tends to be more of a mud or clay beach feature with lots of farmland and lakes. So that would be what you're experiencing in that area of the province. We're now going to watch a video for Kentville, Nova Scotia. So we will watch that and talk about it afterwards. So in that video, you saw a few different features, notably the variety of trails within Kentville proper and around the community. A lot of the community events and local shops. Kentville has a variety of really high quality locally owned shops, very good community focus within their organizations and their events. So that would be some things that you're experiencing. Kentville does tend to be a little bit more farmland, so that would be something that you would be preparing for as well. Now we're going to watch a video for Lunenburg campus, which is in the town of Bridgewater. So it's named Lunenburg campus, but it's within the town of Bridgewater. So what you saw in that video was the town of Bridgewater and a little bit of the surrounding areas trails. You saw the LaHave River, which is what the town of Bridgewater is built around. There's two sides of the river. You see the bridges connecting with trails and driving pathways. And you saw the Lunenburg County Lifestyle Center's pool, HB Studios Sports Center's field, and the YMCA's fitness gym. So those were some of the things that you saw in that video. And so I'm just making sure that my screen is showing. We're good. So we're going to talk about community resources now. We're going to go by the Annapolis Valley and then the South Shore. So if I'm not speaking about your campus, bear with me and we'll get to there shortly. So in the Annapolis Valley COGS campus area, so Annapolis Valley campus, ABC, Middleton, and Lawrencetown campuses, we have a variety of family resources within the community. There is an English-based public school system and Council Scolaire Acadien Provincial, which is our French school board system. So if you are a French speaker and you have youth that would like to learn French and you'd like them to be in a French school system, that is an area that you would want to look into. If within your specific region where you're going to be living, there is not a Council Scolaire Acadien Provincial, our French school system, you can ask the English-based public school system about the French immersion programs. Often when there's not a French designated school within the region allowing youth to live and go to school at a French school system, there is a French immersion. For childcare, finding childcare can be challenging and expensive. It can be very difficult right now in Nova Scotia to find childcare. If you need childcare, you need to contact organizations early and get added to the wait lists. You'll see that that is linked. By Thursday, I'll be sending these presentations to everybody. And that link you'll be able to click. It will take you to the Nova Scotia government's list of registered childcare locations, and you'll be able to go and find a location that's close to you and contact them and see if they have space or if you can get added to a wait list. The last point on this slide is our family resource centers. So there's family resource centers located throughout the province, and I have linked here one of our family resource centers so that you're able to get that support that you need. The ABC COGS resource family matters, and so you'll be able to connect right with their organization. In Kentville, again, we have the English-based public school system and Council Scolaire Acadien Provincial. So you will be able to, when you register for schools, if you have youth that are looking for school registration, you can contact the Annapolis Valley Center for Education if you're in the English-based public school system, and you're going to be able to ask them which school you should be registering your child with, and that school can help you with the registration. Related to childcare, again, it can be challenging and expensive. This link again takes you to the Nova Scotia's webpage to find that childcare. In Kentville, there are childcare facilities. You just need to be able to contact them and get on those wait lists. Finally, there are family resource centers available in Kentville. It's again, Family Matters. So there is some resource sharing between the two campuses and those two communities. They may be in two different counties, but they're very connected. For Middleton and Lawrencetown campuses related to health resources, there is a health and medicine resource at Annapolis Valley Have It All Annapolis Valley website, where they list the variety of different healthcare resources. Now, the reason we have this on these slides is not every community has a health clinic and not every community has a hospital. For Annapolis Valley campus and COGS, which is Middleton and Lawrencetown, the closest medical centers are the Annapolis Community Health Center in Annapolis Royal and Western Kings Memorial Health Center in Berwick. So there is no health center within town limits. If you need medical care, you're going to have to plan your trip to get to those communities. You can use the Nova Scotia Health Authority's website to search for the closest clinics that would be appropriate for you. Now, talking about Kentville, luckily, there is a health clinic and a primary clinic right in town limits. There's also a health clinic called the Red Door, which is a youth health and support center for ages 13 to 30. And that can be a really great resource if you don't have a family doctor or don't have access to a family doctor. And then there's the Valley Regional Hospital is right within Kentville and is a great resource as well. Related to recreation, Middleton and COGS campuses, each municipality, you're going to see this on multiple slides, but each municipality has their own community resources to help you be involved. Annapolis Valley, Have It All Annapolis Valley, has a list of arts, culture, and entertainment, and outdoors and recreation. You'll see within the Annapolis Valley and Kings County, there is a really large arts community, and it's really great to get involved with. And if you're wanting to figure out more about how to find recreation resources that fit with your passions, we have a Connecting with Community webinar that's focusing just on how to navigate and find those key community resources. So if you're interested in judo, you're able to go and learn more about how do I search for a judo in my community. And we have some provincial partners that will be attending those webinars. And for Kentville, you see curling on this slide, where the other slide was a fiddle. So in our communities, curling, especially in Kentville area, is very large, very popular activity. So engage with your community to see what's available for you. Have It All Annapolis Valley also has a subsite for Kings County, but also the town and Kings County Recreation are other really great resources for you to look at to figure out what is available in your community. And again, if you're looking more for recreation specific, you're wanting to really know how to get involved in your community and how to get involved in clubs and activities as soon as you attend campus, you're going to want to attend our Connecting to Community webinar on June 28th. Recycling is really important to know in Nova Scotia. If you come from outside of Nova Scotia, or you're coming from an be it in Canada but outside of Nova Scotia, or you're coming from an international country, recycling may be new for you. I moved back to Nova Scotia from the northern, up north, the territories of Canada, the Yukon, and I forgot how to recycle, and it can be really challenging. So each municipality does have a sorting guide. Thankfully, being from Nova Scotia, I knew exactly where to look. But if you're coming from outside of Nova Scotia, or you're new to figuring out where to look, you can go on to, for the Annapolis Valley, Middleton, Lawrencetown, and for Kings County, Kentville, they all share the Valley Waste Resource. So there is a multi-page guide, and they offer it in multiple different languages. You see a snippet here in English, but if you're looking for a different language, go on their website. It will be linked as well. It would be really good to print out your own sorting guide and have it in your apartments, and make sure you know when waste removal is. It might be new for you, it might not be, but every community has different waste recycling days. So you will sort your waste into the appropriate bags and put it on the street for collection. And a waste removal truck will come and take those bags and take it to the proper sorting facilities for you. Now we're switching to Lunenburg Campus, Bridgewater. Again, we have the English-based public school system and Council Scolaire Acadien Provincial right within Bridgewater. And I do know that there is a Council Scolaire Acadien Provincial because I am from Bridgewater. That is where I grew up. And so childcare, there are new childcare spaces coming on the South Shore. There is a link to a website that gives you a little bit of news about that. But again, use the Government of Nova Scotia's webpage to help you find childcare that's right for you. And finally, the Family Resource Center. So in the South Shore, for the entire highlight, remember that highlighted section of the map, there is the South Shore Family Resource. And so that organization provides resources including events, programs, but also education and other support for families. In Bridgewater, there is a health center and there is a hospital. So you'll be able to go on the Nova Scotia Health Authority's website and find the health clinic that's right for you. And then if you do need an emergency or other support, there is a hospital within the town of Bridgewater. For recreation, each town, again, has its own type of recreation. A few links here are the town of Bridgewater, where you'll find information on how to navigate to the Lunenburg County Lifestyle Center, which has the pool and the library and the arena, but also HB Studio Sports Center. So if maybe hockey isn't for you, you're more interested in cricket or soccer or golf, HB Studio Sports Center might have what you're looking for. And again, the Connecting to Community webinar on June 28th is going to give you more details on how to find those organizations and how to reach out to them. Recycling, again, a little bit repetitive, but it's different in Bridgewater than it is in the Annapolis Valley. And you'll see a different sorting guide on this slide than on our Annapolis Valley page. So you're wanting to go to the Lunenburg Regional Recycling Center's website to find out more information, and there's a link on this slide. So when you do hit the slides, make sure you're going and downloading those recycling guides. For provincial resources, if you are new to Nova Scotia, you can contact 211 to find out which essential service you need. So if you're looking for healthcare, or maybe you're looking for another essential service like mental health support, 211 will give you a nice directory of where you may want to go. 811 is a free non-emergency health information call phone. So if you're looking for, if you're feeling a little sick and you're like, I don't know if I should go to the healthcare clinic, or if I should go to emergency room, or if I can just, stay at home and take cold and flu medication, 811 gives you that trusted medical advice from a nurse. If you are at a health or safety risk that is immediate, if you are threatened or you are in a health emergency or a physical safety emergency, you can call 911 in Nova Scotia. Do not call 911 for non-emergency services, but if you need the police, fire, ambulance, or emergency health services, 911 is a good option. Campus resources. You might be like, Kaylee, this is all fine and dandy, but what does NSCC proper have? What does my campus have to offer me? Well, provincially, we have our library and learning commons that host a variety of services, including writing centers, research help, English second language support, and career services. Even if your primary language is English, you will be able to use the writing center and other writing tools. Library and Learning Commons has a website that you can go and navigate to all those resources. You also can use career resources for resume help and other job application tools. Slide, you have the wellness and counseling resources that we have. We offer personal and career counselors, a variety of different online resources, and a list of community resources that you're able to access as a student. We also have student advisors. So if you're not sure where to go, you're feeling a little lost, you're not sure about your academics or needing some support getting tutoring, your student service advisors are the people that you'll want to go to. The campus doesn't reach out to all students in August but in orientation they list all of the advisors, and often those advisors come straight to your classroom and say, hey, I'm your advisor, please feel free to reach out to me. It's also included within your orientation materials. So during orientation, make sure you check to see who your advisor is and go say hi. There are also culturally specific supports, and if they're not located on your campus, they're available via Teams meetings and can travel to your campus sometimes. We have Black and African descendant supports. So if you are a person of African Canadian or African descent, you go to our Black and African descendant supports. You're also able to go to them if you don't identify as that identity, but they are for our African Canadian and African descendant students. They can answer any questions for cultural specific supports and academic supports. And Aviar Gordon is our Black and African descendant support for all of the campuses in this webinar. So for Middleton, Lawrencetown, Kentville, and Bridgewater campuses. So that's ABC, COGS, Kingstec, and Lunenburg campus. Indigenous supports are for a resource for our First Nations, Métis, and Inuit descendant students. And they can answer questions and help you find information and culturally specific supports and academic supports to succeed. They can also connect you to an elder. At Kingstec campus, we have Scott, and at Lunenburg campus, we have Shawnee. So if you are a First Nations or Indigenous student, you can go to those supports. And if you're not an Indigenous student, you're still able to go into those folks and learn, ask them how to connect to an elder or learn a little bit more. I'm going to get Farhana to speak about what Farhana does. Farhana is our international supports for all rural campuses.
Hello everyone, my name is Farhana Afros and I'm the International Student Support for NSCC non-metro campuses. If we have international student attending this webinar, you must have received email from me if you are outside of metro campuses. So I basically work with all the international students outside of metro campus. I assist them getting support in applying for their study permit, co-op work permit, postgraduate work permit, or like information related to being an international student. We also work collaboratively with student services and other departments to support students in reaching their goal in Canada. And my email address is it's on the screen. It has a letter error, so it's just farhana.afros@nscc.ca. So yeah,
Farhana, we're gonna just pause and fix it again. It was fixed, I swear.
No problem.
We're having some issues with Microsoft earlier, folks. So there's been things that have happened.
Yeah, no problem at all. And international students, they already have my email address, so don't worry about that.
Perfect. It is fixed.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Farhana's a great support for international folks. If you are an international person, please make sure you've downloaded the iSent app and uploaded your study permit or statement, letter of introduction. Those are very important. If you don't have your study permit and you have your letter of introduction, please upload that. It's very, very important for you folks. And I'd just like to highlight here also our International Ambassador Program for all students. If you're a Canadian student and you have experience being an international ambassador in your high school or working with an international newcomers program, that's a great program to get involved with, and Farhana can direct you in the right location. Also, our international students are welcome to be international ambassadors as well. So definitely something to look to. You can also email me, and my email will be at the end, and I can connect you to the right place. I just wanted to do the plug for that. So now our accessibility services. If you are a student with a disability and have diagnosed physical, mental health, chronic health, or learning challenges, you should be connecting with accessibility services. There are 3 emails listed on this website. The earlier you connect, the better, because it's easier to get. It's better to get the services and supports in place prior to your attendance to help support your success. It'll make an easier transition for yourself. So feel free to contact them early with what you need. Ask them what sort of information that they need to help make sure that they can minimize your barriers. Now at this point in the webinar, we will be taking questions. And again, we will be not unmuting any participants at this time. So please use the question box. All questions will come to us, and we'll verbally answer them. And if we don't get to answer your question, we will respond to it via email. So for Hannah, the question we have here is, if we are in eCampus but living in a community in this webinar, how early do we apply to get a student ID?
For the student ID, I think once you are enrolled, in late August or early September, when you start your program, you can get your ID. So there is a student ID, how to access your student ID on our Get Started site. So if you just go to nscc.ca and just go to the Get Started, and you would find how to access your ID as an eCampus student.
Perfect. I'm just typing that into the to the question box. We have another that said, we did not play a video of Middleton proper. No, we didn't play a video of Middleton. Unfortunately, there is no video of Middleton done by a government or tourism organization that would be within our scope of showing. You can Google Middleton and you can see drone footage and other sort of footage. It's very much farmland and very similar to the Annapolis Royal video you saw, with some ocean front when you drive out. But that's why we showed Annapolis Royal. It's similar geography, but there is no video of Middleton that we could find to show you today. My apologies.
Is there any way we post how to get your student ID link on the chat box that people can see?
Yes, of course. I am getting to.
I have the link.
If you send the link, it'll send it to me, and then I will be able to send it to.
Okay. So it's. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Is that you will get your student ID on August 10. You have to apply for it. There is a photo requirements, and if your information is complete and your photo and proof of identity meet the requirements, your student ID will be available for pickup at any campus, at the campus, or mail it to you within 5 business days.
So the next question is there any public transportation for Middleton campus? So the public transportation for Middleton and Lawrencetown and Kingstec is all King's Transit. It's mostly to go between different communities. There isn't a lot of stops within Middleton itself. So it would be, if you wanted to go to Greenwood or Lawrencetown, you would use King's Transit, but there's no public transportation for Middleton itself. We'd recommend you look at, if you're an international student or domestic student, you can go to our international student subsite, nscc.ca. And if you go in the search bar and do Transportation International, it'll take you to the international student subsite on transportation. The next question for Hannah is, how do I get to my campus community from Halifax Airport?
So there are different ways, right? If you go to our international student site, or if you just download the iSend app, you'd find the information how to go to your community from the Halifax Airport. So there may be a cab option. So there is a shuttle option as well. So you have to find what best match with your finance and the time you are arriving. Kelly, do you want to add anything? It's also depend what time you are in Halifax, right?
Yeah, so maritime bus is the best way to get to between different communities. Maritime bus covers the entire maritime region, so not just Nova Scotia, but New Brunswick as well. And so it is to go between towns primarily. If you do maritime bus or a shuttle from the airport or a cab from the airport, you also have to be aware of time frame. If you're coming in the evening, you need to prepare for probably a night overnight at a close hotel, and getting the hotel shuttle to and from the airport, because the bus, depending on which community you're in, may not run after a certain time, or shuttles may not be available because they won't be able to get to that community and back to the airport before the time runs out for them. So check our international student website, but maritime bus is a good option, and so are the cabs and shuttles. But just know that the time that you arrive at the airport, if you're coming from out of province, may impact your ability to get those services. Thanks, Farhana. The next question we have is, where can I upload the introductory letter, and what is a letter of introduction?
So if you download your iSend app for NSCC, you would see there is the upload my documents, or like upload your documents tab. So click on that tab and you would see that there is a study permit option, upload your study permit. There is upload your co-op work permit option. So you can upload if you are already in Canada and if you already have a study permit, just upload your study permit to that tab. Or if you are in outside of Canada and you already have the approval from immigration, that's your study permit application has been approved, that's called a letter of introduction. So that's usually students receive when they are done with that. Like for example, if your country need a visitor visa, they request a passport. So the passport request letter is not the letter of introduction. So once you send your passport, then they stamp it, then they give it back. Then after that, you receive a letter of introduction. That's the final approval letter, and you need to bring it when you travel to Canada. So you can upload your letter of introduction to the study permit section, and once you come to Canada, then update it with your study permit. So if you want to keep your seat for the fall intake, you have to upload that letter of introduction or the study permit by August 4th.
Perfect. Thank you, Farhana. And what you saw me put into the chat while Farhana was talking about that was the international student transportation. That's good for both international students and domestic students can use the international student website. So if you're here looking to try to figure out where to find those transportation links prior to me sending this presentation out on Thursday, that's where you'll look. The iSend app is mandatory for all international students, and so I will be sending that link about the iSend app in the chat right now as well. You do have to upload that before August 4th. Okay. I have a minute here. We're just going to pause to see if there's any other questions related to your campuses. If your campus question is very specific, I try to be a little bit more generic when I ask for Hannah. So, okay. Upcoming, we have our introduction to rural campuses this week and our introduction to HRM campuses next week. We also have our Recognizing Rental Scams webinar Wednesday, June 21st. And so if you are looking for housing and trying to avoid rental scams, the Recognizing Rental Scams webinar is very good. There's also a pre-recorded one already online. So if you can't wait till June 21st, you can watch the one from last year. I'm just going to go back to the questions because we have one more for international students. I'm an international student. If my visa is rejected can my admissions be shifted to another academic session?
So if you are an international student and if your study permit application has been refused, you have until August 4 to request a deferral to NSCC admission. So after August 4, like there is no deferral option, students have to withdraw and reapply. So like you can email NSCC admission. That's the only way you can defer. Email NSCC admission, admission@nscc.ca, request a deferral by August 4.
So at this point, I'm not seeing any more questions. So on Thursday is my goal to get you folks the PDF version of this webinar, but also you will be receiving a link to a Microsoft Forms for feedback. We appreciate all feedback from you folks because it helps us improve our housing and transition supports services for students. It'll be great if you do fill out that Microsoft form, and you'll get the PDF for this and a link to the pre-recorded or to the recorded webinar. And if you've asked any questions since me switching to this slide, you will be responded to via email at our next availability. So. And yes, thank you all for attending, and we're going to end this session now. I am going to turn off my mic and my camera. And again, if you've asked a question since me starting to end the presentation and now, we'll respond to you via email. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks, Farhana.
Okay.